Fallout New Vegas left players with a choice. Would the Mojave thrive under the democratic NCR? Suffer under the brutal Caesar's Legion? Break free with Yes Man? Or reach new heights under Mr. House? But what if I told you that one of these endings might not just be a choice? It could be the canon ending. And what if the clues have been right under our noses all along? Hold on to that thought, guys, because we're about to explore why Mr. House may have been the true victor, both in the game and in the Fallout TV series. But first, let's set the stage for why this matters. The Fallout TV series takes us to a fractured California, where the once mighty NCR is on the brink of collapse. The Brotherhood of Steel is scrambling for power, and the new factions are rising from the ashes of the old world. But here's the kicker. If the NCR still controlled Hoover Dam, their most prized resource, they wouldn't be scrambling for limitless power sources like cold fusion. Remember, cold fusion wasn't just a fancy tech buzzword. It was the kind of breakthrough that could have ended the resource wars and changed the very fate of the Fallout universe. So, why didn't it? Hold that thought, guys. We'll get back to why Vault-Tec's greed may have doomed the world as we dive deeper into the implications of Mr. House's triumphs. In Fallout New Vegas, Mr. House's path isn't just about survival. It's about securing absolute control over the Mojave. He takes the helm of Hoover Dam, fortifying New Vegas with an upgraded army of Securitrons. But here's a detail that's often overlooked. Mr. House doesn't just seize power. He builds a future where New Vegas stands as the unrivaled jewel of the Wasteland. And while it's easy to see this as just one of many possible outcomes, the TV series might be showing us that this wasn't just a possible ending. It was the inevitable one. But how do we know this for sure? We'll come back to that. But first, let's look at the hints the game leaves behind. Throughout Mr. House's ending, you see the complete dismantling of his rivals. He doesn't just defeat the NCR and Caesar's Legion, he literally dismantles them. The NCR's reliance on Hoover Dam becomes their Achilles heel, and as they lose control, their grasp on the Mojave weakens. Meanwhile, House's Securitrons, enhanced with the Platinum chip, aren't just for show. They're a symbol of his unchallenged authority. And here's where it gets interesting. In the game, House makes it clear that he doesn't just want New Vegas to survive. He wants it to thrive under his vision. So, if that's the case, why doesn't the series show us New Vegas in its full glory? Instead, we're getting a tantalizing glimpse of the Lucky 38 from a distance, leaving us to wonder what truly happened. But don't worry, we're circling back to that mystery soon. As the season wraps up, the TV show drops a bombshell, literally. The final scenes flash to the wreckage of Securitrons and downed NCR vertibirds scattered across New Vegas. It's a stark contrast to the thriving city Mr. House envisioned, suggesting that while he may have won the battle, the war is far from over. Could this be a sign of his empire crumbling under external threats? Or is it all part of a larger plan? The mere fact that the NCR is in such a state of disarray, relying on tech like cold fission, only reinforces that they've lost control of their key resources. Hoover Dam being a prime example. If they still had it, why look elsewhere? Hold that thought, because the pieces are starting to fall into place. Now, here's where things get even more tangled. Vault-Tec, the company that sold safety from the end of the world, might have had the very key to preventing the Great War altogether, cold fusion. But instead of saving humanity, they shelved it. Why? Because it wasn't profitable. Vault-Tec, alongside other powerful entities, thrived on fear, chaos, and control. Unlimited energy could have ended the resource wars that pitted the USA against China. But Vault-Tec chose profits over peace. Imagine a world where those choices were different. The entire trajectory of the Fallout universe could have changed, and yet, in the end, it's Mr. House a man of vision, and relentless ambition who steps in where Vault Tech failed. Remember guys, the house always wins. And this isn't just wild speculation. Fans have been digging into this theory from every angle. Some argue that the absence of the West Coast Brotherhood troops in their classic T-51 power armor hints that Mr. House may have shut them out of the region. Others point to how the NCR's weakened state on the West Coast lines up perfectly with the fallout of House's campaign in New Vegas. And then there's the show's nod to the East Coast Brotherhood, suggesting House's ambitions, or at least influence, might be stretching even further than we thought. Is he quietly manipulating events from the shadows, extending his reach across the continent? We'll get back to that, but for now, it's clear that if anyone is positioned to change the rules, it's Mr. House. And hey, if you're enjoying the journey through the Wasteland with us, why not hit that like button and subscribe? After all, just like Mr. House, we're always striving to stay ahead of the game. But while Mr. House's victory seems clear, the show teases that his grip on New Vegas might not be as ironclad as it appears. The ruined Securitrons and scattered remains of NCR forces and vertibirds suggest ongoing battles, possibly with a new, unseen enemy, or internal rebellion. And that's the thing about power, guys. It's one thing to seize it, it's another whole thing to keep it. But Season 2, it promises to dive deeper into these conflicts. And you better believe we'll be keeping a close watch on how House's strategies play out in the long game. So, does the House always wins really mark the canon ending of Fallout New Vegas? From the strategic dismantling of his enemies in the game, to the subtle but telling clues in the TV series, the evidence stacks up in favor of Mr. House. But, as with any power struggle in the Wasteland, nothing is ever truly settled. Mr. House might have won the battle for New Vegas, but the war for its future, and possibly the entire West Coast, is just beginning. And that's the real question. Can Mr. House keep his empire intact? Or is the Wasteland about to deal him a hand he didn't see coming? For a deeper dive into Fallout New Vegas, and why it is such a standout in the Fallout series as a whole, check out my video in the end screen I got here for you guys. Thank you for joining me, and remember guys, the house always wins. Corn out.